Hey guys, one of the questions that I get all the time is how much protein should I be eating and how do I actually eat that much protein? Especially as a games athlete or an aspiring games athlete or aspiring athlete. Like really, how much food should we be eating? What is the best way to fuel our bodies to achieve our goals? Whether that goal is like athletic performance or that goal is to shed 20 pounds, which will make us better athletes in general anyway. It's like taking a weight vest off. How do we fuel that properly? And there's a lot of factors that go into that, but one of those is protein. And it's the biggest priority for me when I'm thinking about what I need to eat, what my clients need to eat in order to sustain their bodies while training. Of course, we need carbohydrates. Of course, we need fats, and I'll create videos to talk about those as well. But today, let's talk about protein. First, we need to know how much protein we should eat in a day. If you're just an everyday person, you don't really train, you're not very active, but you want to maintain muscle mass in your body, or at least not be losing protein or be undernourished, you need to get about a half a gram of protein for every pound of body weight. So if you're a 200-pound person, you need about 100 grams of protein a day. And that's not overly challenging to achieve. Like 100 grams of protein, if you're eating 3 to 4 meals a day and you have a piece of protein with each one of those meals, that's not hard. 25 grams of protein is no problem. All right. But if you're actually an athlete and you're training and you're trying to qualify for the CrossFit Games, or you're trying to be a better overall athlete, or you're trying to just be a fit human being, you need a bit more protein in your diet. Now, the amount of protein will depend on your training volume and your training intensity, and that's where you work with someone like me to help dial that in perfectly. But let's just take a guy like me. So I am training to be a CrossFit Games athlete. I spend, 2, sometimes 3 hours a day training, and that training is intense. There's a lot of volume to it. So what I'm looking for is just about an entire gram of protein, a little over a gram of protein per pound of body weight. So for me, I'm looking for around 200 grams of protein a day. And for a lot of my clients who are aspiring CrossFit Games athletes, they're looking for similar, around a gram of protein per pound of body weight. I also work with other clients that aren't aspiring CrossFit Games athletes, and they're going for just a little bit less protein a day. Their requirements aren't quite that high. So it's as simple as that. If you're training a ton, you eat a gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you're not training quite that much, take like 0.8 grams of protein per pound of body weight. That's how much protein you should get every single day. Now, I actually recommend having that protein on workout days, recovery days, rest days. If you're training 5 days a week, plus 1 recovery day, plus 1 rest day, you want to hit those protein goals absolutely every day. You don't need to dramatically change your nutrition intake. In fact, what we're actually thinking about when we're thinking about nutrition is we're thinking about having a consistent week and a consistent month and a consistent season, not necessarily today is this and tomorrow is this and tomorrow is this. We're actually looking for long-term consistency. In a given day, however, we are looking to spread out our protein intake. Protein isn't something that we want to just bulk up on around dinner time. Our body continually needs protein throughout the day. We need it consistently because our protein stores constantly need to be replenished. So my strategy is to actually try to eat consistent meals throughout the day and have consistent protein in those meals every day. So here's how I approach my day. I have some coffee. That's first. That's not protein. But we just jump in to eggs, carbs, and veggies for my breakfast. My protein source is primarily eggs. Now, if I were to have 6 to 8 whole eggs, I'm getting a decent amount of protein. I mean, it's not a ton. I'm getting 30 to 40 grams of protein in that breakfast just from the eggs, but I would also be getting a significant amount of fat. So what I do is I actually use egg whites. So I'm going for 6 to 8 total eggs with 2 of them having yolks. I scramble those eggs. They're yellow. They're delicious. So that is one part of the protein that I have for breakfast. Another part of protein that I have for breakfast is some protein powder that goes into a spinach smoothie that I create. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see my spinach smoothie recipe out there. It's really simple. It's baby spinach, water, blend that together in a blender, make it liquid because I don't want to be chewing green things. I just want to drink those. It's so much easier. But a scoop of protein powder goes in that as well. And that gives me another 25 to 30 grams of protein. So that gets me a decent amount of protein in the morning. For lunch, I'm normally having something that is left over from the night before or that I've meal prepped. Maybe I cooked up 6 or 8 chicken breasts earlier in the week. So I'm having some sort of chicken breast or ground beef or burger, or even, pork works as well, sometimes fish. So I'm looking for another protein source with lunch. Then I'm working out at some point throughout the day. I've got 1 or 2 sessions. After one of the sessions, I'm typically rehydrating and I'm just adding protein to that water. So I have another protein shake to help me get some protein and some hydration in as well. And then in the afternoon, I tend to have a smaller dinner, kind of an afternoon snack, a 4th meal, where I'm getting another protein source in there. And then for dinner, there's another protein source. Each one of these meals is a well-rounded meal. I'm not going for just protein. I'm trying to have protein, carbs, fats in each one of these meals. I time them and I spread them throughout the day so that I'm constantly replenishing my body for the activities that I'm doing. Simple as that. I do recommend eating as much of the protein as you can versus supplementing that. So I'm not a huge supplement guy, but I do supplement my protein intake with whey protein. It's something that works for me. Whether you have vegetable protein shakes or whey protein shakes, animal products, doesn't matter. Protein from plant-based sources or animal sources seem to work equally well. So not a big deal, whichever you go for. This is just one of the areas that I supplement. Now, if you're only trying to get 100 grams of protein a day into your diet, you probably don't need to supplement with some sort of a shake. Protein shake doesn't make sense. But if you're going for 180, 200, 220 grams of protein or more, you're probably going to have to supplement just so that your jaw isn't so tired from consuming food all day. Now, with all that said, can we overdo protein? Well, we can. There's only so much protein that we need. And really, if you are crazy athletic, you don't need much more than 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight per day. It's just beyond that, we're actually just wasting money and wasting time and effort. So we don't need to do that. We only need to fuel our body that much. It'd be like literally filling up your gas tank in your car and just keep going after it's full. Like, you don't need more than that. You actually need room in your diet for the other things like carbohydrates and fats and leafy green vegetables that'll have all the micronutrients that you want in. So even with those 4 meals a day, there are times that I don't quite get enough protein. And so I have to think of other protein sources. I can't just eat chicken for lunch and for dinner or ground beef and all that. I get tired. So I want to think of variety. So one of the ways that I go for variety is I actually use my high protein recipe packs. So they are available for sale. Just shoot me a message and I'll connect you with the high protein recipe packs. I also have low carb recipe packs. I also have plant-based recipe packs. All of these help us get some diversity of foods into our lives. Just makes life interesting. So I will use recipes that I've created. They're just good and just help me have a smile on my face while I'm eating throughout the day. I'll also use yogurt. So low-fat yogurt, for me, I've found a couple of yogurts that I really like, and it's really something that you've got to test and try out. Like, what yogurts do you like? Watch out for sugar content. I saw yogurt the other day, Timotuk, I think is how I say that brand. It's one of my favorite dairy brands. Like, I love their cheese. I really like their ice cream, although I don't eat much ice cream, as you know. But they had a yogurt, and I was like, yay, they've got yogurt. I looked at it, 26 grams of sugar in a serving of yogurt. So that's not good, not what I'm going for. I'm looking for yogurt that's got very low sugar, high protein, and lower fat. I get fats from other things. I don't eat fat from my yogurt. I like this yogurt called Too Good Yogurt. I can pick that up at Walmart. It's at my local Kroger grocery stores. Most grocery stores will carry it. Faye is another brand that I like to use. Find one that works for you. So that's a great protein source that's not something that I have to chew too much. I also like cottage cheese. Too Good is the best cottage cheese on the planet. That's just my opinion. But I love cottage cheese as another protein source. I'm getting low fat cottage cheese, a little salt, a little pepper. It's absolutely delicious. So that's it, guys. It's simple enough. Make sure you know how much protein you need to consume every day. Pace your protein intake throughout the day so that you're constantly refueling yourself, refilling those protein reserves in your body. Use lots of different sources for protein to keep you happy and smiling and thankful to be eating so much good food. And if you need help dialing in your nutrition precisely to achieve your specific goals, if that's to get to the CrossFit Games, we need to have that nutrition dialed in precisely. That was the #1 thing for me that made me a CrossFit Games competitor as opposed to just an almost qualifier. It's the #1 thing. Lots of other things went into that, but nutrition was #1. So if you're looking to do that, reach out to me. If you just need to shed some weight, get healthy, we want to be precise, and I can help you with that. It's not complicated. We'll design a nutrition plan that fits for you and for your goals. And if you already have your nutrition dialed in, high five, congratulations, it's awesome. It's a super important thing in life just to make that the default. We fuel our bodies for what we want them to do. And if you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to the channel, click that like button, and share this video with anyone you think might benefit from it. See you next time.